What if they like you? What if your dreams come true? Are you willing to do whatever it takes? Will you reap the rewards? How far are you willing to go? Can you handle the pressure? When someone is always watching?
No, I don't think it surprised me. I think Bailey's situation, I was very upfront with her in the fact that, yeah, I did entertain a backdoor idea for you. So I wasn't expecting her vote. I knew that or Todd was going to do whatever she was going to do also. So those were two votes. And I assumed I didn't have Lex's or Anthony's vote because in a sense, they were kind of the reason why I was sitting in the chair in the first place. And I think Spicy and Avery, I think they both knew at the end that there was probably a lot that was miscommunicated to them. But I think at that point, it was too late to really do anything about it or to backtrack. So I wasn't surprised about a 5-zip. And it's tough because she wasn't even just my alliance member. She was probably my best friend in the house. Her and Spicy were my two best friends. And I think because the information that had been communicated to them had come from other members of Hot Chocolate, that I think it was almost hard for them not to believe. And especially from the people that it was coming from specifically, they are so well spoken. It's almost like it's hard not to believe them. Like even when they were telling me things that I was saying, for a second I was like, wait, did I say that? Like I started to manifest some of those stories in my own mind. Like, but it just didn't make sense to me that I would have said any of that. So I think it was between that and especially again with me entertaining the Bailey backdoor plan, and hearing that Avery actually really was starting to really like Bailey and really wanted to work with her. I didn't know that. And I thought that Hot Chocolate was our priority. So I think between the things that Lexus and Anthony were saying and the fact that I did express the idea of considering to backdoor Bailey, I think everything just tied together and it made her decision quite easy to put me on the block. I have to say, I feel the most betrayed by Avery and Spicy, only because, again, they were my best friends. And they could have, I really wish that they had talked to me about some of these concerns that they were having. Granted, they also thought that there was things that I wasn't telling them and that I was talking behind their back. So maybe they didn't even want to take the risk, but I think the fact that they were so quick to believe other people who they didn't have daily conversations with, I think that hurt a lot because we spent a lot of time together. So I would say Spicy and Avery. No, I don't think they did. I think that they prioritized others, and we had like the me, Spicy, and Avery had the Girls Alliance, and Lexus and Anthony was working with Matt and Tola. And I think that those fake alliances really started to manifest into real alliances. And I think I think there were certain people that geared off of the plan a little bit of what we came into this game to do. So I really think that things are going to crumble now. I think that there were two sides, and now it's getting rid of me it now evens the game board a little bit. On the one side now there's Bailey, Todd, Spicy, and Avery, and on the other side there was Lexus, Anthony, and Tola. So now it's a bit of a more 4-on-3 situation. But I think I would have been that person that made it a 5-on-3, which is why I think I think I ended up on the block and ended up going home, because if it wasn't me, it would have been either Lexus or Tola. And I think that Anthony was worried about Lexus or Tola going home. I knew that I was going to, or at least I hoped that I was going to be very good at the physical competitions. I really enjoy puzzles on the side, so I was confident in my ability to win physical competitions. I wanted allies who also thrived in other aspects of the game, like the social aspect or the mental aspect. Um, and I wanted to gain as much relationships as possible in different categories of the game. And I wanted to play as honest and loyal of the game as possible. I really, of course, the honest game, I think, lost track a little bit because, again, we got tied up in a couple of fake alliances, but I really was loyal to hot chocolate. And at least I know I left the house knowing that I was just as loyal as I said I wanted to be. They were so fun. I remember the first one, seeing all the little puzzle pieces in the sand in the Sunwing Challenge. I knew in the back of my mind that I had that one. Um, it was such a fun thing to do. And in the moment, seeing how I was a little concerned about, am I going to be distracted by other people's progress? But then being immersed in the experience, I was totally tunnel vision and was just so focused on what I was doing. And the 5K also was a really great bonus. And then the second POV win was just as important because now my life was actually on the line. So it was good to know that in a POV situation where I was on the block prior to, that I could have actually stood a chance of winning and saving myself. I think that was a really special feeling that I was able to do that in that moment under that pressure. Um, I think this would be a little bit of a blessing and a curse. The fact that I never had, very seldom did I ever have an opportunity to be in a room by myself with my thoughts. It was very hard to find time for myself. That is how in the outside world I'm used to coping with my feelings. But it also, and that's where now it becomes also a blessing, because I've now learned how to depend on other people's support, other strangers' support, and be okay with it. I was on the block for 3 days, 2 days, and I spent the first day kind of, like sad in my feelings. But by the end of the day, I was like, oh, I'm bored of this now. Like, I miss the people that I hang out with every day. So I made it, the next day, I made it a goal of mine to just kind of forget about what just happened the day before and really connect with the people that I really enjoy spending time with in this house. So I think me being dependent on other people and it being okay is definitely something that was challenging, but I now really appreciate as well. The cast, I can't stress enough how I've watched other seasons. I see how sometimes different people connect, and it gets a little bit clicky in some ways. But every single person from week one was so welcoming, inclusive. We were always chatting. You never, yeah, we had our best friends in the house, but it was great getting to connect with each person on an individual level. And I'm so glad. Like, I could have walked in there and I was expecting to walk in there being like, okay, like there's gonna be like two people that I actually like. Everybody else, I'm just gonna hate. Like, they're gonna annoy me for whatever reason. Like, I was actually annoyed that I didn't hate anybody. I was shocked that we were able to, that we were such a close knit group of people. And I think that's also what made the game so hard as well, because there was no villains in the season. There was no like it was a different kind of season. And that's something that I think was my favorite part about it was, there was never an easy target, and it made the game more challenging.